I made $3,702.16 on my last trade, and I did it by using an inverse fair value gap model. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that, how I entered the trade, and how you can replicate that model. For me to explain my entry model to you, I first need to go over what a fair value gap is. A fair value gap is a 3-candlestick pattern where the first candle's low does not overlap with the third candle's high, or where the first candle's high doesn't overlap the third candle's low if these candles were bullish candles instead, but we have bearish candles here. So just to highlight this, we have the low of the candle here, we have the high of the third candle here, which means we have a nice spacious fair value gap right there. And that's where all the juice is. If I move this on a little bit, we can see here that there is a bullish fair value gap here. So there is candle 1's high there, and there is candle 3's low, which then once again leaves us with this lovely gap. Here we go, in this candle. And that is our fair value gap there. When you're studying fair value gaps, you may have come across terms like a SIBI, which is a sell-side imbalance, buy-side inefficiency, which is essentially just a bearish fair value gap, right? So if I just look at this 3-candle pattern here, that's what you would call sell-side imbalance, buy-side inefficiency. I just call it a bearish fair value gap because I'm not really big on using these really complicated terms, but I'm just kind of covering that in case you've come across it in other videos and you might not know what that means, but that's essentially what it is. On the other side, you have a buy-side or a BC, whatever you want to call it, which is a buy-side imbalance, sell-side inefficiency, which is essentially a bullish fair value gap, just like that. Just to make sure we're covering everything here, the start of the fair value gap is where the gap begins. So right there at the bottom of this blue box would be the starting of the fair value gap, and the ending of the fair value gap is when it reaches the bottom of the wick here. And obviously the same rule applies on a bearish setup. We have the beginning of the fair value gap here, and the ending just at the top of that wick just there. We also have what's known as consequent encroachment, which is the midpoint of the gap. So if I just get this box and I add a middle line for us, make that nice and strong, there we go. That is the midway point of the fair value gap, again known as the consequent encroachment, the midway point. And then obviously, if the price were to return to the entire point of this fair value gap, that would essentially be a full fill. So if we look at the price here just for a moment, you will see that this particular candle, the wick came all the way down, just close to that 50% mark, which is where it's coming up to that encroachment area. Okay, so that's pretty much a standard reaction to a fair value gap, where the price will come back down to that 50% mark and then generally would like to shoot off from that point. This is really good to know because when you are trading in a live environment and you see a bullish fair value gap forming like this, this can become quite a good entry point for you if, that was your style. You would want to kind of set your entry point at that point there, maybe set the stop just below the fair value gap, and then you could, target the next high or, wherever you feel there's some liquidity up here that's there. So that would actually be quite a sensible place to target. But that's just an example. If you were going to trade a traditional fair value gap, that's what you would do. I do not do this. This is not what I do. And I feel that this is actually more of a retail style setup. What I'm going to show you is a much more unique approach to how I would take a trade like this. To do that though, I need to show you what an inversion fair value gap is first. So in order to identify a inverted fair value gap, it's essentially when a fair value gap fails. Okay, so here we have a fair value gap forming bearishly. Okay, so let's just mark this one out for a moment. I'll get rid of the midway point line. So here is our fair value gap bearish. Okay, now typically what we would want to see here is pretty much what we saw on the other side, right? If I just redraw this one back in, what we kind of want to see with the fair value gap is the price comes out, it wicks into the fair value gap at the 50% encroachment point, and then we want to see the price shoot off, which it most likely looks like it's going to be doing here. But when a fair value gap fails, what happens is the price does not come back and reject the fair value gap. As you can see, the price has not rejected this gap. Instead, what's happened, if we further along, we move to this candle here, which is also a fair value gap. And you can see that it's actually closed above this bearish fair value gap. Now what happens is when you have price moving through the prior fair value gap, it essentially invalidates it, and then this fair value gap becomes a level of support or resistance. That means that the price is actually going to bounce off of this fair value gap. And that's what's happening here, as you can see. So that's kind of the concepts of the inverted fair value gap. And what I want to do is I want to show you how I actually took a trade just over the weekend, the trade that made me quite a fair amount of money. And I'm going to show you how I actually did this in a real life scenario. So to give you just a quick example, all right, I'm going to just bring this back a little bit, because what I'm going to do here is break down some of my core strategy. So let's come like just around here, okay? The first thing that I did was I took a look at price, which we should all be doing. And I can see that we are moving upwards, right? It doesn't take a genius to see that the price action here, the market structure here, is quite clearly bullish market structure, right? Like we've got high there, got a low there. We do reach a high here, and we could call that the next low here. And then we broke above just to there, all right? So we can clearly see that the market is trending upwards. It doesn't take a genius to see that. But what I'm now looking for is an entry point. And the way that I do this is I look for unmitigated order blocks. Now, there will be a separate video on order blocks to explain kind of how to identify those and what those are and how they work. And I'm not going to go over that specifically here. But essentially, your order blocks are just your supply and demand areas. Where are the areas in which people are buying and where are the areas in which people are selling? Now, very quickly, you can identify, if you know how to identify an order block, which you will once you go through my videos. But just for now, I want you to see that here we have an order block, and here we have an order block. We have two different areas here of demand, which means that that entire area really could be considered a demand area, right? So we could actually just mark this entire area here and say that's all demand, right? So let's just change the color of that and say that's all the demand area. But there are two specific blocks here, which we would call fractal points or fractal order blocks, that we are anticipating that price could react from if this price were to retrace. So the next thing that I do, let's get rid of market structure, is I use my FRVP tool, which is your fixed range of volume profile, and I will draw that in the range that I have. So just around about this area. Now I can see that when I draw this, I am getting an understanding that the lower end of the range is also lining up with this order block. So I can quite quickly see that this low fractal point is going to be a point where the price might retrace to. Now I'm not going to go too deep into this because what I want to talk about here is my entry model specifically, which is the inverted fair value gap. But what I'm just highlighting here is that this is how I identified roughly where price might come to and where I'm going to be taking my trade. So as we'll see, when we go forward in price, the price comes back and it taps right into that order block at the bottom. And you can see that there's a very nice reaction. If we get nice and close, there's a lovely reaction just there, okay, right on the bottom of that order block. So that's the first thing I just wanted to identify. Now next, what we're going to do is I'm just going to draw just this line in here so we know where we're at. Okay, let's make it green. And I'm going to come down into the 1 minute chart. Now, all trades that I take, when I take an entry, I will always enter between 1, 2, and 3 minutes. Okay, I'm always looking at the 1 to 3 minute charts to see where my entry points are going to be. Now, let's take the lessons that we've just learned and apply them to this whole section here. So I'm going to come back in price here because I want to show you how this kind of worked in real time, okay? Okay. So here we came into our order block right to the bottom. And at this point, I'm kind of nervous. And the reason I'm nervous is because the price has actually come right to the bottom of the order block, which means that we could actually see the price break through this. So I can't really enter right now. I'm kind of nervous about entering right now. I want to see a change in market structure. Okay, so if I look at market structure here, you can clearly see that we are trending down. There is nothing here indicating to me yet that the market structure is changing. There is a slight change here in that price is beginning to consolidate in this area, but that doesn't mean that market structure is broken yet, right? So we want to wait to see some kind of shift. That's the first thing. The second thing is when I make an entry, I am looking for fair value gaps. So I can see immediately that there is a fair value gap here. Okay, so there's a nice fair value gap there. We've got candle 1, 2, and 3. And remember, it's just the gap between the candle, which is where we determine where that fair value gap is. Now, if you've been paying attention, you will see that the candle here comes into the fair value gap and it rejects pretty much at the top. Now, that means that this candle here is not yet an inverted candle because the price has not overcome the entire part of the fair value gap yet. It has not closed above that price. That's the rule that I personally follow. I need to see this price close above here in order for me to determine that market structure has changed and that we are changing directions. But also, once the candle closes above, then this candle becomes my new level of support. So let's see what happens. Okay, now, right here we can see that the price is now coming up into the fair value gap. You can see it's here wicked into the fair value gap, but it's not closing above it, right? We want to see a close above. There we go. The close is above. So once this candle closes above here, now you can see immediately that if I just take that there, right? So there's a fair value gap, okay? Let me just make that a little bit lighter. And you can see that green line now is acting as support. It's the top of the fair value gap. So now that is a valid inverted fair value gap. Okay. And what you will see is that the candle basically came and it touched that spot. And the price then goes and flies away. And that is pretty much how I take the entry. Okay. I would be looking for this close above that gap. I then take my entry normally, like, you have to have a printed candle, okay? This is really important. Like, I do not enter unless the candle has printed, because at the end of the day, we could have had a situation where we had this. Look at this candle right here, okay? You can see that the price actually did come above on this particular candle. So I'll just show you here, like this candle right there. The price has come above, but it hasn't closed. So that's not valid yet. So if I just entered as soon as that had come up, I could have had a problem, right? The price would have come down. I could have got stopped out down here somewhere, right? But if this one's closed up here, now I'm feeling much more confident. It's like, okay, you know, we have an option here to buy. Now, if you remember what I talked about with encroachment, right? It's when you have the price coming back into 50% of that fair value gap. And what's actually happened here is we have printed a brand new fair value gap, right? Look at that. We've got a fair value gap here. Let's get rid of that. All right, that's the fair value gap. And you can see the line just faintly, the 50% line. This candle comes right down, right to the top of that inverted fair value gap. So from before, so that bearish fair value gap from before, price comes down and it touches it. And what I'm looking for is an entry just here, right at the 50% mark. That's great. And I'll take it. My stop on this, just the last low, the last candle just there. And then I would obviously target, you know, some liquidity at the top, whatever. I won't talk about that now. But that's where my entry point is. And that's beautiful, right? Like, look how great that works out. So, you know, that's pretty much the entry. And if we just come out here, I just want to show you like how powerful this can be. Okay. Check this out. So we had some price consolidation here, which is fine. You know, we broke market structure just over here. And then, as you can see, price then begins to move up. We are in a bit of a weird time here as well, by the way. This is like, I'm pretty sure this is like PM kind of price action, so it's not the best. But as time goes on, we will see, I'll just speed this up a little bit, that price does eventually break out and do what it needs to do. But remember, we do not come back to that inverted fair value gap. That price is now kind of protected. And as market structure develops, you can see that we have an incredibly good move just off that one entry. And that's how I'm able to make thousands of dollars just from that one trade entry down here. Did I target all the way up here? No. I targeted liquidity actually just around about some liquidity here. You can just see just on that level there. But that is pretty much my entry model there on using fair value gaps. Remember, fair value gaps can highlight potential trading opportunities that can be extremely lucrative, but you do have to make sure you have other confirmations and other confluence, which I'll talk about in some of my other content. If you found this video helpful, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more trading tips with Cryptic Hustle. Drop a comment if you've got any questions or if you want me to cover any of the trading strategies, and have a great day.